So good morning everyone. I am Jerk Marvin Garay and going to talk about estate planning. So first, we're gonna define first what is estate. Estate is encompasses all the assets you owns and is categorized into several main areas. So in the first one is in estates includes everything you own. So the first one is real estate. So in real estate, pumapasok dito ang house, lands. So what is real estate? Real estate is often the most substantial components, including your primary residence and any additional properties such as vacation homes, rental properties, and undeveloped lands. So the value of this is properties can significantly impact the total worth of your estate. The second one naman is financial accounts. Pag sinabi natin financial accounts, pumapasok dito yung mga bank accounts, retirement funds. So in financial accounts is a form of another crucial parts of your estate, including checkings, savings account, retirement accounts like 401 and IRAS. So other financial instruments that holds monetary values, these accounts are essential for providing liquidity to your estates, enabling the payments of debts and distribution of assets to beneficiaries. So the third one naman is personal belongings. Pag sinabi natin personal belongings, pumapasok ang jewelries, cars, furnitures. So personal belongings includes a wide range of items that can have both financial and sentimental values. So this categorized covers jewelry, vehicles, furnitures, artwork, collectibles, and other personal property. So while some items might be highly valuable in monetary terms, so they open the whole significant sentimental value for your years. So the last state is life insurance policy. So common naman sa atin yung life insurance policy. So in life insurance policy are integral part of your estate. These policies can provide the substantial benefits to your beneficiary upon the death. So helping to cover expenses such as funeral costs, outstanding debts, and even providing ongoing financial supports. The value of these policies and their payout terms must be considered when assessing the worth of your estate. Next one is why estate planning is important. So the estate planning is a crucial process that ensure your wishes are honored and your loved ones are cared for after your death. So one of primary reasons for estate planning is to ensure your wishes are followed without a clear plans. State laws will dictate the distribution of your assets, which may not align with your personal desires, and a comprehensive estate plan outlines exactly who should receive your assets, preventing unintended beneficiaries. Additionally, estate planning helps to minimize probate costs and delays. And probate costs is the legal process of the administrating your estate, which can be lengthy and expensive. So the third one is the proper plannings, including settings up trust, can streamline this process, reducing your both time and cost. So another critical aspects of estate planning, it's ability to avoid family conflicts. By clearly defining how your assets should be distributed, you can prevent disputes among the family members, ensuring smoother transition and preserving family harmony. So furthermore, estate planning is essential for providing your loved ones future. It ensures that your family members, especially those who are financial dependent on your taken care of after your passings. So this includes making provision for their educations, living expenses, and other financial needs. Lastly, for those with minor children, estate planning is allowed to designate guardians This ensures that your children are cared for individual you trust, maintaining their well-being and stability in the difficult times. So, next one is there are next category that we have in state planning. So, mayroon tayong key documents in state plannings. So, meron tayong the first one is last will and testament. And the next one is names of beneficiaries for assets, appointment ng executor to manage the estates. So, durable power of attorneys authorize someone to manage your financial affairs if you become incapacitated. Healthcare proxies. So, in healthcare proxy, there tayong tinatawag na si designated someone to make the medical decision on your behalf if you can't. Several key documents are essential in state plannings to ensure your wishes are missed out in your states is managed effectively. The last will and testament statement is the foundational documents that name the beneficiaries who will inherit your assets if you allow you to specify how your property, money, and other assets should be distributed. Moreover, your will appoints an executor to manage your estates, ensuring instructions are followed. So the executor is responsible for tasks such as paying debts, filing tax returns, and distributing assets according to your wishes. Without the will, the states will decide this matter, which may not reflect your preferences. So that's all. I once again. So the next one is durable power of attorneys is another crucial documents that authorize someone to manage your financial affairs if you become incapacitated. These legal instruments ensure that a trust individually can handle tasks like paying bills, managing investment, and making financial decisions on your behalf. This is particularly important in situation where you're unable to act due to illness of injury. Finally, lastly, the healthcare proxy or a medical power of attorney designated to someone to make medical decision for your if you cannot do yourself. This document is ensure that your healthcare choices are respected. So covering decision about treatments, surgeries, and life of care. By having these documents in a place, you can safeguard your interests and ensure that your statement is managed. So once again, I am Jerk Marvin Garay. So I'm the reporter of State Plannings. So that's all. Thank you.
Type of trust, living trust. Living trust is known as the revocable trust is the legal arrangement creating during an individual lifetime in which trusts hold and manage assets for benefits and beneficiaries. Living trust can be effective state planning tools offering benefits like avoidance, privacy, and flexibility in managing assets. However, it's important to consult with legal and financial professionals to ensure that living trusts align with your specific estate planning needs and goals. Second is the revocable living trust. Revocable living trust is a legal arrangement where the persons or placer place their asset into a lifetime with ability to modify or revoke the trust. The third types of trust, revocable living trust. A revocable living trust is a legal arrangement where the trustee places their asset into a trust during their lifetime with the ability to modify or revoke the trust they cede. The trust is managed by the trustee for the benefits of their beneficiaries. Here are some key features of revocable living trust. First is control during lifetime. The trustor remains control over the trust asset and can be altered to trust them or cancel it entire while they are alive. Second, privacy. Unlike wills, which is the public records and the term of living, trust generally remain private. Third is incapacity planning. If the trustee become incapacitated to the successor trainees, can manage and trust asset without the court intervention. The four types of trust, irrevocable living trust. An irrevocable living trust is a type of trust cannot be altered, amended, or revoked by the creator who can create the trust. Once this has been established, whether are the key feature of benefits of living a workable living trust. First, control and manage of your asset. The trust is managed by the trustee according to the term and set forth by the creator. The creator gives the ownership and control over the asset placed in the trust. Second, the tax benefits. Once the main reason people use a revocable trust is to reduce state taxes. Since the assets are no longer owned by the creator, they are not considered part of the creator's taxable estate, which are the result of significant tax savings. Fourth is protection from creators. Assets held in the irrevocable trust are generally protected from the creators because the creators no longer own them. Beneficiary designation. Designate beneficiary for retirement account and life insurance policy. This policy involves specifying who will receive the asset upon your death. This step ensures your wishes are carried out with your loved ones by providing your financially. You dictate who we gets without your needs and probate, making the process smoother and faster for your heirs. It is essential to review and update the designation regularly to reflect life changes such as marriage, divorce, or birth of your children. Second, beneficiary designation override for your will. Beneficiary designation override will your will means that asset like life insurance policies, retirement account, or bank account payable on death instruction as passed directly to your designated beneficiary. Upon your death, regardless with your will say, it crucial to keep your beneficiary designation updated with your reflect your wishes, as they can outline your will. Fourth is update your beneficiary designation regularly. By updating beneficiary designation regularly is ensure that your assets are distributed according to your wishes. In case of your death, life changing has matched your married, divorce, births, and death require adjustment for ensure your beneficiary are current regular review to help your unintended consequence for your ensure your loved ones will provide you. Planning for incapacity. First, consider your future needs. Considering your future needs it involves anticipating and planning for your various aspects of your life, like financial stability, healthcare, living arrangement, and personal goals. It means evaluating for your current situation, understanding your potential changes, and making decisions. This well-being and also will help you to ensure that you are prepared for whatever challenges or opportunity may arise in the future. Second, will you acquire your long-term care? By determining if you are require long-term care involves assessing your factors such as health, family, medical history, lifetime, and financial situation. Long-term care may be unnecessary if you are anticipating needing assistance with activity or daily living, due aging, illness, or stability. Planning for a long-term care involves considering options such as nursing homes, assisted with living essential for a discussion with your loved ones and professionals to make informed decision-making about your future care needs. Third, who will make financial medical decision if you can. This someone can make their financial medical decision with themselves. This is about designating someone they actor for their behalf through their legal document like a power of attorney, financial power, or attorney appoints. With someone who manage their financial affair by their medical power of attorney, but someone make medical decision for them. It is important to carefully choose and transfer the individual to ensure they are understand your wishes.
Hello everyone, our fourth is will. What is will? Ang will po ay isang also known as last will of testament. Testament ang isang legal na document na papahayag ni iyong institusyon para sa mga nagpapahayag at bahagi ni iyong ari-arian at yaman pagkatapos ni iyong kamatayan. Next is 4 legal terms you should know. Number 1 is textador. It means ito po yung textador. Ito po yung tumutukoy sa gumagawa ng isang huling habilin ng unang habilin ng isang lalaki. Number 2 is executor. Ito naman po yung mga isang tao na institution na tinahalaga na huling testament nung bago siya mamatay. Next is beneficiaries. Beneficiaries naman po, it means isang tao na tumatanggap ng beneficiary o natatanggap ng pera mula sa pulisya. Kapag may may-ari ay namatay o nakaroon ng lubhang karamdaman. Ito po yung beneficiaries. Next is probate. Ang probate naman po is special na proseso na kailangan gawin upang patunayan ang bisa ng isang will of testament na kailangan para ma-abolish ang validation ng isang will. Next is what does a will cover? Ang will cover naman po ay the coverer is will is property, mga beneficiary ng will of testament. Nakalagay kung sino-sino yung mga nilagay mo sa beneficiaries mo, tapos yung mga assets of properties na makukuha nila sa will of testament. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Mylene Desiree Marquez and I will report the benefits and what should write in a will. So, first is the benefits. What are the benefits of having a will? First is your asset remain in your control. Siyempre sa pagkakaroon ng will, dito may ensure mo na yung mga property or ari-arian or stocks na naipon mo or napundar mo is makakontrol mo kung kanino siya mapupunta or sino ang pwedeng magpatuloy ng mga napundar mo na property. Tapos, next is address changing circumstances. So, syempre, sa buhay, hindi naman may iwasan na may mga pagbabago. So, pag dito sa will mo, malalaman mo dun kung ano yung mga nagbago sa buhay mo, may mga nag-improve or may mga nawala. So, pag dito, sa will, pwede mo siyang mailagay yung mga pagbabago nandun para aware ka rin sa mga nangyayari. Tapos, next is, you can direct your grip to a particular purpose. Yun nga, pag meron kang will, alam mo kung saan mo maipupunta or ilalaan yung mga property, money, mga mga stocks na naipundar mo. Halimbawa, pwedeng sa mag-anak, sa anak, or sa mga kahit kaibigan na napagkakatiwalaan mo lang. Last is, under current tax law, there is no upper limit on a estate tax deduction for your charitable bequest. Yan, bukod din sa mga property, pwede rin na yung sa will mo is yung nakalagay din is ilalaan mo yung mga naipundar mo dun sa charity na napili mo. So, pag may charity kang napili, may instances or may mga lugar na pinapayagan na yung ilalaan mong donation dun sa charity is mayroong tax deduction na makukuha. So, parang konti na lang yung tax na maibabayad kasi yun yung nakalagay sa estate planning. Next naman is yung how should I write a will. So, sa pagsulat naman ng will, mandali na lang yan kasi syempre, kailangan magsusulat ka lang naman sa papel or sa online. Pero may mga bagay po na dapat na i-consider sa pag-write ng isang will. Tulad na lamang ng what asset do you have. Syempre, as a testator, dapat alam mo yung mga property na meron ka tulad ng bank accounts, mga assets na meron ka sa isang trust, or kung meron kang bonds, stocks, shares na pinaglalaanan, dapat alam mo yun para kung sakaling may mangyari ka, at least alam mo dun na yung mga napundar mo na yun is may mapupuntahan, hindi siya masasayang. So, next po is yung how to write your will. Dapat alam mo po yung mga ilalagay mo sa will mo, hindi lang po yung basta-basta na ganito, nilalagay ko na ibibigay ko yung mga property ko sa anak ko. Hindi naman po dapat ganun. Dapat alam mo yung mga legal basis na pwedeng ilagay sa isang will. Tulad na lang po ng pangatlo, choosing your executor. So, syempre dapat, yung kukunin mong mag-aasikaso ng will mo is katiwa-tiwala at alam mong hindi niya sasayangin yung mga nakalagay doon or hindi niya ibabaliwala na yung mga nilagay mong habilin dun sa isang will mo. Pwede naman, tapos meron pong sa pagpili ng executor, pwedeng pamilya or basta family member. Pero ang mas maganda po na pagkukuha ka ng executor is yung meron naman pong mga professional na ganyan or financial advisor na mas nakakatiwala po. Tapos yung pang-apat po is naming your beneficiary. So, syempre pag gagawa ka ng will, dapat hindi lang basta na pinapasa ko to sa aking anak. Dapat po papangalanan mo siya para hindi magkakaroon ng lituan or agawan kasi madalas po nangyayari yan sa isang pamilya. Lalo na kung yung isang taong nagawa ng isang will is malaki yung mga naipundar niya or alam ng mga pamilya na mayroon siyang kakayahan na makapundar ng ganong kalaking amount or properties. Tapos yun po, panglima is children and financial dependence. So, dito naman po sa children and financial dependence, mas mga benefits po dito is yung mga anak mo. So, kasi po syempre sa isang way ay kung sakasakali mawala po yung testator, may instances po na yung court po yung magde-decide kung ano pong mangyayari sa mga anak. So, kung dun sa will mo po is nakalagay na kung ano yung gusto mong mangyari sa future ng mga anak mo, mas may dadalian po yung court na mag-decide kung ano yung magiging buhay or anong magiging plano ng mga naiwang mong anak. Tapos yung pang-anim is what are your funeral wishes? Syempre, pag may gantong nakalagay sa will mo, at least kung may mangyayari man po dun sa testator, alam na po nung pamilyang naiwan mo kung ano yung mga gagawin. Kasi syempre sa will mo maglalaan ka na kung para sa mga burial, yung mga ganun po. So kung cremation ba or sa lugar ng paglilibingan, at least po hindi na po mahihirapan yung mga naiwan mong pamilya kasi may funeral wishes ka na or may plano ka na dun sa will mo kung paano ang gagawin kung sakasakaling mawala ka. Tas yun po pang pito, will your estate be charged inheritance tax? So, syempre kung nakalinaw na dun sa will mo na kung meron bang mga tax na kailangan bayaran, at least magiging aware yung magiging inheritance mo na kung ano yung mga gagawin niya dun sa mga naiwan mo. Next is who will witness and sign your will. Siyempre, yun yung pinaka-importante sa paggawa ng will. Dapat, kung sino nga ba yung mga dapat na mag-sign or maka-witness. Ang mas maganda po dito kung sa witness po is yung witness na kukunin ng testator is dapat wala siyang will na, wala siyang, parang hindi niya gusto, wala siyang gustong angkinin yung property mo, wala siyang pakialam sa property mo na yun. Kumbaga, wala siyang gusto na may mapuntahin sa kanya, parang ganun. Para hindi po siya makikigulo dun sa magiging, yung sino man po magiging beneficiary or inheritance ng isang will. Tas, yung sign naman po, dapat katiwala. Kasi, pwede pong forge o yung parang pekiin po. So, dapat po dun sa mga legal or professional po tayo magpapapirma pagdating sa will. Tapos, pang 9 po is storing your will. So, syempre, dapat pag itatago to, secure kasi pwedeng masira. Pag nasira, wala na, babaliwala na po. So, dapat pag i-store yung ng will is pwedeng dun sa executor or sa safe na paglalagyan. And next po, last po is updating your will. So, syempre, yun nga, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, hindi naman natin hawak yung buhay natin. So, may mga pagbabago, pwedeng may madagdag sa property mo or may bawas. So, pag i-update mo yung will, dapat, yun po yung dapat na i-consider, i-update mo yung will mo para kung may madagdag man sa property mo, at least na dun sa will mo, alam mong dun sa nabago mong napundar is may mapupuntahan siyang maganda. Tapos meron po tayong apat na kinds ng wills. Una po is yung holographic wills. Ito po sa holographic wills. Ito po yung susulat at pinipirmahan ng testator, ngunit wala ang saksi. Madalas po itong ginagamit sa yung parang impromptu po, parang, naghihingala na po yung isang tao, parang, tapos kailangan ng habilin. Parang ganun po. Kumbaga, biglaan lang pong sinulat at pinirmahan yung isang will. Tapos, oral wills. Ito naman po yung parang palitan lang po through communication po. Parang nag-usap lang po sila na ito ipapamana ko sa kanya kasi ito. Parang wala pong physical na evidence na nagkaroon po ng will or ng kasulatan ng isang tao. Tapos pour over wills naman po pangatlo is dito po yung sa wills na to once na nawala po yung testator, directly na po mapupunta yung mga will niya, yung habilin niya, dun sa trust na naipundar niya. Yung ganun po. Kasi mutual wills, dito naman po madalas pong meron nito, syempre mutual nga po, mag-partner or mag-asawa. Kumbaga, kung ano po yung magiging plano nila kung sakaling mabuot silang mawala. So, dito po, sa mutual wills, at least po may pagkakasundo po sila kung ano pong mangyayari sa magiging naipundar nila. Yun lang po. Tapos last po is yung should I update ng will? Yun nga, tulad ng sinabi ko sa 10 na i-consider sa pagsusulat ng will. Dapat po talagang ina-update yung isang will. Siyempre nga, kasi nga hindi naman natin hawak yung mga pagbabago sa buhay. So, kung laging ina-update yung nagawang will, so nagiging tugma yun sa mga nangyayari sa buhay ng isang tao.
Estate tax. The estate tax is a federal tax levied on the transfer of the estate of a person who dies. An estate tax applies when the value exceeds an exclusion limit set by law. Only the amount that exceeds that minimum threshold is subject to tax. So, ang estate tax ay hindi isang tax sa property. Ito ay tax sa karapatan ng resident para may transfer ang kanyang mga property para sa mga tagapagmana nito. So, here are some main classifications of properties that can be considered an estate. So, first one is real estate. This includes lands, houses, condominiums, and any other type of real property located in the Philippines. So, ito yung mga titulo o property ng isang resident na maaaring i-transfer para sa kanyang mga tagapagmana. So, kapag hindi na settle ang tax, hindi transfer ang property from the resident to tagapagmana. Kung real estate ang naiwan ng resident, hindi makukuha ng kanyang tagapagmana ang full benefits nito tulad ng pagbebenta ng mga property. So, the next one is cash and bank deposits. All cash, savings, checking accounts, and time deposits in Philippines and foreign currencies are included. Bukod sa mga titulo, ang cash and bank accounts ng resident ay maaari rin mai-transfer sa kanyang napiling tao. Stocks. Stocks in any corporation, both Philippine and foreign, are subject to estate tax. So when a person passes away, the fair market value of his stocks will be added to his other asset to determine the total value of his estate. This total value will then be taxed according to the estate tax rates set by the government. So, it's important to be aware that your stocks holding will be a part of your estate and may be subject to estate tax. So, planning ahead and consulting with a tax advisor can help minimize the tax burden on your heirs or sa mga tagapagmana.
So, good day everyone, I'm Denmark Jonyo. So, gift. A gift is an item that given without any expectation of payment. It's a present. So, halimbawa, si Aling Maria. So, gusto niyang suportahan ang edukasyon ng kanyang apo, si Juan. So, napapasok sa college ngayong taon. So, dito nais ni Aling Maria na mabigyan ng magandang kinabukasan si Juan sa pamagitan ng pagtulong ng kanyang tuition fee. So, si Aling Maria, nagbigay siya ng 100,000 pesos kay Juan upang sa ganon, makatulong sa mga bayarin sa college. So, ang ginawa ni Aling Maria, inilipat niya ang kanyang pera mula sa kanyang bank account patungo sa bank account ni Juan bilang isang regalo. So para kay Juan, ang regalong ito ay nagpapahintulot kay Juan na makapag-focus sa kanyang pag-aaral nang hindi iniintindihan kanya ang malaking bayarin sa tuition fee. So makakatulong din ito upang maiwasan ang pangangailangan na kumuha ng student loan si Juan. So para kay Aling Maria, si Aling Maria nakaramdam siya ng kasiyahan at kapanatagan dahil alam niyang nakatulong siya sa kinabukasan ng kanyang apo.
In estate planning, the gift and trust is a powerful tool that allows you to transfer assets to your beneficiaries while still maintaining control over them during your lifetime. It is also a great way to protect your assets, minimize taxes, and provide for your loved ones. So the gift and trust din kasi is a special legal and fiduciary arrangement. So pag sinabi natin fiduciary arrangement, it is a contract na kung saan yung pagmamay-ari ng isang tao, yung mga kayamanan niya, yung wealth niya is pwede nating i-transfer into another person. Commonly, yung mga other person na yun, it is a beneficiary of a person. Beneficiary like a family members. So para mas mapalawak pa natin yung pagpapaliwanag or the understanding in a gift and trust is also a commonly used by our mga parents, grandparents na who want to establish a trust fund for their children and grandchildren for the next generations. So bakit nga ba mahalaga itong gift and trust? Siyempre, makakaiwas din tayo, makaka-avoid tayo sa tinatawag natin na gift annual tax.
So good day everyone, my name is Mitzi Baseronia and today I will be discussing about the other aspects of estate planning. So earlier na-discuss na ng other reporters yung estate planning na kung saan sino or yung mga pwedeng makatanggap ng mga ari-arian ng isang namayapang tao or pag namatay na yung isang tao, lalo na kung may mga states sila na naipundar. So it is either vehicles or buildings, bahay, lupa, kahit ano pa yan, stocks, mga ganyan. So the first other aspects of estate planning is the estate tax. So estate tax, ang sabi dito is it is a tax on the right of the deceased person to transmit his or her estate to his or her lawful heirs and beneficiaries at the time of death and on a certain transfers, so which are made by law as equivalent to testamentary disposition. So take note of this, that it is not a tax on property, but it is a tax imposed on the privilege of transmitting property upon the death of the owner. So para nga mailipat yung mga estates ng isang namayapang tao is meron tayong mga kinakailangang sundin. Una na dito is we have the tax estate computation na kung saan kapag pag ang isang tao ay namatay siya noong January 2018 is ang susundin natin dito is yung trial law na kung saan is i-compute natin, which is the gross estate is i-deduct siya sa deducted allowed deductions. So gross estate minus allowed deductions will be arrive the net estate. And na yung halimbawa, 'di ba, yung gross estate i-minus siya sa allowed deductions, and then yung magiging total niya is net estates na i-multiply naman sa 6% estate tax rate to compute the estate tax due na inilabas noong Republic Act number 10963 no train law. So ulitin natin para ma-compute natin yung estate tax ng isang namatay na tao para maipasa niya yung mga ari-arian niya is we need to have the gross estate deduct the allowed deductions or the estate tax purposes that will be arrived as a net estate. So yun yung magiging total na yung magiging total is i-multiply siya sa 6%, and then yung magiging total nun is yun yung magiging tax estate due ng isang namatay na tao. So yun yung updated from the train law kapag ang isang tao niya namatay from January 2018. So if the gross estate is more than 5 million, the estate tax return shall require a certification coming from a certified public accountant. So para malaman natin kung ano yung mga deductions kapag ang isang namatay is a resident citizen states is kinakailangan nila dito magkakaroon na ng standard deduction na worth 5 million and claim against the state, claims against insolvent person, and mga unpaid mortgage, tas properties previously taxed, transfer for public purposes, or the family home na worth 10 million. And yung amounts received by heirs under Republic Act number 4917. So, yung mga allowable deductions naman, pag non-resident yung citizen states, is dito kinakailangan ng standard deduction na 500,000, which is 500,000, property previously taxed, tapos transferred for public purposes, and share in the conjugal property, tapos yung tax credits for estate taxes paid to a foreign country. So, yun yung mga kinakailangan natin sa estate tax. So, next naman is guardianship. So, guardianship, it is a legal process used to protect individuals who are unable to care for their own well-being due to incapacity or disability. A court will appoint a legal guardian to care for an individual known as a ward who is in need of special protection. So, dito naman sa guardian, kapag ka ang isang tao is may estate siya and then malapit na siyang mamatay, nangihina na siya, hindi na niya kayang magsalita, hindi na niya kaya na pirma, magsulat ng mga ganyan. So, the court will be given a guardian from the malapit ng mamatay na tao, na kung saan si guardian, siya yung mga magpo-process ng mga estate ng isang malapit ng mamatay. So, that is in a guardian. And lastly is the beneficiary. So, a beneficiary is the person, entity that you legally designate to receive the benefits from your financial products. So, sa beneficiary naman, dito naman na i-direct or isusulat mo na mismo kung sino yung mga makakatanggap ng mga wills, yun ng estate na ipundar mo, yung mga ari-arian mo, kung sino yung mga makaka-receive. So, sa pagka-beneficiary is hindi na kailangan ng court kasi nakalagay na doon mismo kung sino yung mga makakatanggap ng mga ari-arian na naiwan mo. So, that is all po. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I'm Nathan D. Ofrancio and I am the last reporter of this group. So, yung topic na i-discuss ko is about wills and trust, and last is lawyers. So, ano-ano nga ba yung mga definition nitong tatlong to? So, pag-usapan muna natin about sa will. Okay, so ang will is isa siyang legal document that outlines how you want your assets to be distributed after your death. So, pag-usapan natin about wills and estate planning. So, think of a will like a map for your stuff after you're not around anymore. Kapag may will, you get to say who gets what. So, halimbawa, meron kang full video game collection. So, pwede kang mag-decide if your brothers or sisters get it or gusto mo siyang i-donate sa mga charity. Okay, so sa will is nagpapakita din dito kung sino-sino yung mga beneficiaries mo and kung sino din yung mga makakakuha ng assets or mana after your deaths. And sa will din is kasama din dito yung mga guardians or yung mga name ng guardians if minor yung kukuha. And yung mga executor na makapagsasabi ng will mo, commonly dito is yung mga attorney. So, next topic is will and trust. So, sa estate planning, will and trust are legal instrument na ginagamit para mag-manage at distribute ng assets. Pero they serve different purposes. Yun nga yung gaya ng sinabi ko kanina a while ago. Yung wills is document na nagsasaad or nagpapakita kung sino-sino yung mga beneficiaries mo, let's say kung sino yung makakakuha ng assets or property mana after mong mamatay. Sa trust, same lang siya sa will. Legal document din siya. As a proof na ipapahandle mo yung assets mo sa isang tao or tinatawag natin trustee. So, si trustee, siya lang din yung nakakaalam kung sino yung mga beneficiaries mo and kung ano yung mga makukuha nilang assets na pwedeng mapunta sa kanila. The last topic is lawyer. So, ano nga ba ang lawyer sa estate planning? So, ang lawyer sa estate planning ay isang legal professional na nag-specialize in helping individuals. So, sila yung mga expert sa iba't ibang legal instruments such as wills, trust, and power of attorney. So, sabihin na natin na ang mga lawyer is personal guide natin through the legal jungle of planning. Kung ano nga ba yung mga nangyayari sa mga gamit or ari-arian, pera, or kung ano man yan. So, kung halimbawa wala na tayo. And having a lawyer in estate planning is like having a wise guide para tumulong sa atin na masigurado na yung wishes mo ay masusunod at even sa mga loved ones mo ay maalagaan sila at mapoprotektahan kahit wala ka na.